All right, my people, welcome to Cyberpoint again. We'll look at how you can configure Traffic Shaper on FortiGate, which is already also known as QoS, Quality of Service. So let me bring up this diagram so we can be able to know how it goes. So assuming you have a network like this and you want to be able to maximize um, the bandwidth of your ISP, whether you have maybe 20 megabytes per second as the bandwidth, total bandwidth, and you want to be able to prioritize traffic based on applications, based on users, on network, so that you have enough quality of service and good user experience for what you have. You can definitely apply traffic shaping priority for the traffic. So this is our FortiGate device, and we have a link to the internet. So this link will become a pipe at which we are going to segregate each bandwidth for each application or each users or each usage you want them for. So let's say we have a VIP phone and our PC, and we need to apply bandwidth management to them, traffic shaping, quality of service. Let's say, for instance, we want to apply for every VIP traffic should use at least maximum of 0.8 megabytes per seconds, which is 800 kilobytes per seconds. FTP traffic should use at least 200 kilobytes per seconds or 0.2 megabytes per seconds. And you want the daily traffic for all your users should be 600 kilobytes per seconds or 0.6 megabytes per seconds. So we can use traffic shaping to limit the usage of each user's application to the internet. Another thing you can also do is that if you want to limit bandwidth to specific websites to your users, maybe your users visit YouTube, Facebook, and other social media, and you want to limit the amount of bandwidth that they consume to those websites, you can also use traffic shaping for that, limiting their bandwidth usage. Maybe before they were consuming 10 megabytes per second for YouTube, Facebook, you can limit them to 800 kilobytes, 600 kilobytes, so that they can focus on production work in your environment. So let me show you how it is done. So before we go into how it is done, I will just want to define some terms so we can be able to have enough understanding. On FortiGate, there are two types of traffic shaping. The first one is shared traffic shaper, and the second one is per IP shaper. For shared traffic shaper, it is used in firewall shaping policy to indicate the priority and guarantee and maximum bandwidth for a specified type of traffic use. The maximum bandwidth indicates the largest amount of traffic allowed when using the policy. You can set the maximum bandwidth to a value between 1 and 16 gigabytes per second. The guaranteed bandwidth ensures that there is a consistent reserved bandwidth available. When setting the guaranteed bandwidth, ensure that the value is significantly less than the interface's bandwidth capacity. Then the second one is the per IP traffic shaper. With per IP traffic shaping, you can limit each IP address's behavior to avoid a situation when one user uses all of the available bandwidth. In addition to controlling the maximum bandwidth used per IP address, you can also define the maximum number of concurrent sessions for an IP address. Let's say, for example, if you apply a per IP shaper of 1 megabyte per second to your entire network, FortiOS allocates each user or IP address 1 megabyte of bandwidth. Even if the network consists of a single user, FortiOS allocates them 1 megabyte per second. If there are 10 users, each user gets 1 megabyte of bandwidth, totaling 10 megabytes per second of outgoing traffic. So for shared shapers, which is the first one, all users share the set guarantee and maximum bandwidth. Let's say, for example, if you set a shared shaper of for all PCs using an FTP service to 10 megabytes per second, all users uploading to the FTP server share that 10 megabytes per second bandwidth. Note both, shared shapers affect only upload speed. If you want to limit the download speed from the FTP server in the example we gave, you must configure the shared shaper as reverse shaper, which I'm going to show you in the illustration as we go on. Per IP shapers apply the speed limit on both upload and download operations. So then you apply shared shaper to the traffic. So all the users within that policy would be able to use that megabyte, that policies you've implemented. But in per IP traffic shaper, each user or each device will be allocated the bandwidth that you've placed for them. So let's go straight to FortiGate and do this. So when you come to policy and objects, there is a feature known as traffic shaping. You have to click on it. If you can't find this here, so you have to go to systems, feature visibility, and turn on the traffic shaping on the FortiGate firewall. So in case you can't find the traffic shaping feature under policy and object, just come to feature visibility and turn it on here, then click apply. So going to this, one thing you want to go, we can, let's go to traffic shaping. Under traffic shaping, we'll create new. So we already have existing profiles for all the policy that we have here. So we want to create a custom one for our usage. So for this, we have for VoIP, we are setting one set for VoIP. Let's not forget that if it's shared shaper for VoIP traffic, if you set 800 kilobytes per second in a shared shaping policy, that means that all the users or all the devices in that policy will share 800 kilobytes, which will be drastic. So for shared traffic, for a VoIP traffic, you want to set something like maybe dependent on the kind of bandwidth that you have from your ISP. Don't set something reasonable for shared traffic. But for per IP shaper, this will be useful and very reasonable. So for share shaper, let's set something like, let's say 10 megabytes for that as guaranteed. So VoIP shared shaper. So we have the priority would be high because we want it to be very recognizable. Then the maximum bandwidth in kilobytes should be 10 megabytes, which is 10,000 kilobytes. Then we have guarantee as 8,000 megabytes for the VIP shared. Then click OK. Then in applying this policy, you go to traffic shaping, you create new, then you can say VoIP shared shaper. So for this, you enable the traffic matches from source interface. You select where the traffic is coming from, which will be definitely from your LAN. Then outgoing interface would be your WAN facing interface, which is, let's choose this, which is our one port. Then source, the source will be the addresses within the network. It can be a set of addresses and it can be all. If all the IP addresses within the network is what you want the traffic shaper to be applicable to, you have to select all. Then destination also would be all. Destination can be all. Then under this place, you want to also be able to apply the category of the application this is meant to be used for. So under here, we'll select VoIP. Under VoIP, select search, then select the category as VoIP. So that means that all this traffic will only be applicable to the VoIP traffic. If you want it to affect whether social media applications and all that, let's select Facebook. Oh no, let's select social media. So we're under category, you can select social media. And you can also select based on applications alone. You can say YouTube, and select all that applies. But in this illustration, we're only considering VIP applications for this. Then you have to select the apply shaper. Under this apply shaper, since we have already set the profile for a shared VIP shaper, we'll come to shared shaper and select this VIP shared shaper, which has 8,000 kilobyte per second guaranteed bandwidth and 10,000 kilobyte per second maximum bandwidth, which is this, and apply. Okay, you select service as well, and service can be SIP or any other protocols that you want, or you can select all. You can select all or zip depending on what you want to apply to. So click OK. So once this is set, once there's any VIP traffic within your network, this policy is going to match it. What if you want to apply per IP shaper to all this so that each single IP or devices will have a dedicated bandwidth to themselves instead of sharing from the pool of the big bandwidth that we set? You can go back to the policy, which is shared VIP, and deselect this. Don't forget, when you select this, it only affects the upload speed. For download speed, you have to select this and also select the share shaper for the download speed. When you're using share shaper, you have to use reverse shaper if you want it to affect the download speed. Then you click OK. But for the per IP shaper, you have to deselect the two and select this. Then you have to create new, then use VoIP per IP shaper. So this means that each device that has VoIP traffic traffic communication on it would be attached, will have the bandwidth that we set here attached to them. So they won't have to share, they will have that single IP, which is one megabyte or 800 kilobytes based on what we are setting here. So the maximum bandwidth we want to set for each VIP, let's set for maximum bandwidth 1.2 megabytes, which is 1,200 kilobytes per second. Then you can have maximum concurrent session. We don't want that. Maximum, we don't want this. You can set all this depending on the policy you want applicable. But this is 1,200 for per IP shaper. Then we have to select OK. So once you select OK and you select this and this works, you don't need to select the reverse shaper in this kind of policies again. Just click OK. Once this is done, this will be applicable for each device that wants to communicate using the VoIP protocols that we have. So that's the first one we have here. Then we have the FTP traffic and daily traffic. You can do the same for each of these bandwidth profiles that you want. So for daily traffic, for all of our users, without having to, without having to select any applications or any service for them, we just want each IP address within the network that is attached to any device to have a specific bandwidth to the internet. So what we do is create new. So let's say users bandwidth. So for users bandwidth, we can say source as all, a source from the LAN, then destination to the one, then source can be all, which is all the devices, all the users within the network of this interface. Then destination has to go to all. Then you can also, based on the destination as well, you can select internet services, which means that there are internet services that you can select as destination, that you, if a user is going to a particular site and you want to define bandwidth for that particular site, or for that particular service, you can select that particular internet service for that, so that they can be limited based on the bandwidth you've set to them. You can check the internet services here and see they are very rich, and you can select from any of these service. But for our illustration, we'll be using address and we're using all. So for this, we are selecting services as all. You can select service as HTTPS, HTTP, depending on what we want to achieve and all that. But we select all in this service. Then application none, URL none. We just want for each user that is connected to our network to maintain the the bandwidth that is applicable to them. So we can either use shared shaper. Don't forget, when we use shared shaper, we have to toggle on the reverse shaper for the download quality of service should to be applicable to them. But for this policy, I want to apply per IP shaper for each user. So I want each user to have 1.2 megabytes per seconds for their internet connection. Let's say I have like 12 devices or 12 users within my environment. That means that 1.2 megabytes times 12, or let's do the calculation. Calculator. So I have 12 devices in my network times 1.2 megabytes. That's 14.4 megabytes per second. That means the total usage of devices, or the total usage of bandwidth by my users will be approximately 15 megabytes per second. That's if they are concurrently using the internet service at that particular moment. So each user will have 1.2 megabytes per second. So I'm using the per IP user by IP shaper. So looking at this, I'll create new, then user bandwidth per IP shaper. So here, I want to make it 1 megabyte, maximum band 1.2. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, let's do kilobytes, 1200 kilobytes per seconds. I can define my maximum concurrent connections for each user, but I don't want to do that. I can define my max concurrent TCP connections. I can define my max UDP concurrent connections and all that. So I just want this done, and that's all. Then click OK. And I'll click OK. So once this is done, any user within my network would only have 1.2 megabytes per seconds for their internet connection. So let's test. Let's see if this works. So come to firewall policy. Under firewall policy, I have my firewall policy set from okay. I think I made a mistake for the interface. So let's go to firewall policy traffic shaping. For my source, edit. So for this, I have to select my source interface to be this is my source interface. Okay, this is my source interface. Now, on the firewall policy, I have to have a firewall policy that allows traffic to the internet by the same network, which is this, um, this. So incoming interface global, where that's my LAN, outgoing is one. Then we have every other thing configured. Then we click OK. So I want to try this now. So we can see bandwidth utilization, and this is the amount being dropped. Wow, for our users. So we have this. So this is the amount being dropped out of that. And our traffic shaping is working.